And that's when my Ministry of Interior and my Ministry of Education worked together to introduce maths and science into the madrasas. But we also said that you can't teach hate, because it's not enough to teach them computers and science if they're still taught to discriminate on basis of ethnicity and discriminate on basis of religion. So we did all that, but we found that as soon as our government went, they reverted to their old ways. So obviously we've got to stop them from teaching hate, and we've got to make them teach science and maths and so on. But at the same time, a government in Pakistan has to commit to building schools, not only building schools which people can go to, but building them on the pattern of madrasas, because the madrasas don't only give education, they give free food and clothing. So parents who are poor bring their children to the madrasas to be fed and looked after during the week. So my government had come up with a concept called Apna Ghar, your home, where the government would set up boarding schools for people who were poor, and they could bring their children for free education and food and clothing. Unless we provide an alternative to the madrasa, it's not enough just trying to shut one down or reform their curriculum. So I think a multifaceted approach needs to be adopted.
One of our members, Ricardo Tavares from Rancho Santa Fe, California, writes in and notes that the Pakistani economy has grown an average of 7% a year over the last 5 years, and he talks about the important role that foreign direct investment has played. And the question I have is, based on his question really, is if you were back in power, how much would your economic policies look like Shaukat Aziz's, the current Prime Minister? And how much would you be introducing changes from what we now see in Pakistan?
Well, I want to put this in a different frame.
Okay.
And I want to say that I find a 7% growth rate very disappointing, given the fact that all our loans have been rescheduled, and given the fact that we are receiving $10 billion in overt and covert assistance. Because when I was Prime Minister of Pakistan, I left office, one had to pay off the debts, and without all this money, with a 6% growth rate, which was targeted to go up in the year 96-97 to 8%. So I think Pakistan has a huge potential, and that the present regime has got a 7% growth rate, more because of the debts being rescheduled and external flows coming in, and not because of direct foreign investment. There has been privatization. There have been a couple of groups from the Gulf that have come in, but name me one major international company, for example, like from America or from England. I could name you General Electric, AES, National Power, who were all coming in when I was Prime Minister of Pakistan. But when you have terrorism and extremism, and you have suicide bombers who are going and blowing up marketplaces and blowing up diplomatic missions and churches and masjids and places of worship, you don't get foreign investment. So we have a jobless recovery in Pakistan. On paper, the statistics look good because we've got the external flows coming in. But in fact, poverty and unemployment in Pakistan has risen, and it's ticking like a time bomb. Because the people are unemployed and unemployment has risen, these militias and militants go to people and say, we will give you a salary, we will pay you $150 or $200 a month, come and join our army. So it's not just people who are ideologues who are joining the militants. It's jobless people who are being recruited in private armies. So yes, happy that the flows are coming in and the debts are rescheduled and we've got 7%. So at one level I'm happy, but on another level I'm not, because I think that we need an economy which invites the investment, that produces the jobs, and a government that addresses the social and economic needs of the people, so they cannot be exploited by those who are criminals and terrorists.
The thing is, what the doctor and the surgeon told me and confirmed is that Benazir has been martyred.
She returned to Pakistan with a dream of ushering in a new political era. Instead, she's become another victim of all that is troubled with politics in Pakistan. Benazir Bhutto, twice Prime Minister and in the running yet again, is about to be buried in her family village of Lakhana. Bhutto was shot and then a suicide bomber blew themselves up as she left a rally in Rawalpindi on Thursday. And across Pakistan and indeed across the world, the reaction has gone from shock and disbelief to condemnation, outrage, fear about what lies ahead for this troubled country.
Situation remains delicate. Despite appeals for calm, many were killed in confrontations. Supporters of the slain former Prime Minister took to the streets in Karachi, setting vehicles on fire. With the assassination of Benazir Bhutto, a chapter in the country comes to an end, but the political future of Pakistan has never been as uncertain as it is now.
Voting has got off to a slow start in Pakistan. Financial markets and schools are closed as the country takes the day off. But fears of violence are overshadowing the general election. 80,000 troops are supporting police to watch over a vote that could return the country to democratic rule. Here's more.
The election was originally scheduled for early January, but was delayed because of the assassination of former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto. The death of Bhutto and concerns about stability in the nuclear-armed state means the vote is being keenly watched by allies and neighbors.
After months of political turmoil, Pakistan has a new Prime Minister with a unanimous vote of confidence. The political climate may be showing signs of improvement. The new government will have to make tough decisions to control the high prices of basic commodities like food and fuel. Ordinary Pakistanis are struggling to cope with galloping food inflation. Prices of wheat, oil and other staples have soared in recent months, triggering long lines outside government food stores, and people are already complaining.
People are fed up with the high prices of oil and commodities. Now they can't even afford to buy chilies and tomatoes.
Pakistan has chosen its new Prime Minister. Yusuf Raza Gilani is not a new face. Known in the Pakistan People's Party for his loyalty, he's seen as a fitting successor to the late Benazir Bhutto. Bhutto was murdered in a suicide attack 3 months ago.
Whatever signs of democracy you see in the country today, no matter how small, they are because of the martyrdom of respected Benazir Bhutto.
Is that somebody who has suffered so much and paid such a high price for what they believe in must continue the struggle to final victory, and I will do so till my last breath.